The following is a production of White Lightning Entertainment. This is Burning Rubber Radio.
And the 65th Daytona 500 is underway. He won a dual race here a year ago in the team's new debut, and he's going to win stage one as they come to the line. First stage win for Keselowski in the Daytona 500. To the flag to end stage two, 3 wide, the 6th row back, and it's Chastain by inches. All right, Stenhouse gets the white flag, and now the flag ends it. No, the caution is out. Ricky Stenhouse has won the Daytona 500.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Daytona 500 winner. Let me tell you, that's been a long time coming.
Burning Rubber Radio is brought to you by Drive Refine. It's more than driver coaching. It's Drive Refine. Visit driverefine.com to get signed up today. Now from the White Lightning Entertainment Studios in Statesville, North Carolina, here's your host, Andy DeLay.
Hey, Burning Rubber, baby. Welcome, everybody, to another week of Burning Rubber Radio. We are the fastest 60 minutes in motorsports, and I'm your host, Andy DeLay, alongside Wayne Owens and the NASCAR chef, John Dex. We got a lot of good stuff, like usual, set up for you tonight, whenever you're listening on wingding.tv, on the Burning Rubber Radio YouTube, and hopefully the Burning Rubber Radio Rumble page is up. And folks, I want you all to head out there and please subscribe to our YouTube page or Rumble page and help us out. It's free and it's keeps us on the air. And Wayne, what do you have in store for us today?
Oh, Lord, man, we have got so much that we can talk about. We've got to unpack the clash at the Coliseum from this past weekend. We've got to get ready for, you know what? We're gonna have a little fun in the show this week. We're gonna be making Super Bowl picks for Sunday. Why not, right?
Why not?
We still have a week until the day, 2 weeks until the Daytona 500. Might as well start getting our picks in early, you know.
Yeah.
And but then we've got that. I saw a comment from John this past weekend as well, and it seemed like kind of like the dare I say the mob kind of got behind him a little bit with talking about the clash at the Coliseum, and it's just something I think we need to unpack a little bit, kind of go into a few things here and just see what's going on there. John, I believe you also have a guest for us as well too, don't you?
Yeah, we do. We got a young man that's going to be racing with Jones Rhett Racing, another new driver with them. So Paul Owens is his name.
Wait a minute, you found one of my cousins?
Could be, you never know.
No, I highly doubt that's the case, folks. But honestly, the way social media and everything works nowadays, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody tries to claim me somewhere, and I'd be like an illegitimate third cousin, if you know what I mean.
There you go, Wayne. Nothing wrong with that, brother.
Well, no, Andy knows what. You remember what I'm talking about when I say that, right, Andy?
Illegitimate. You talking about Kentucky backwoods stuff or something?
No, somebody of very important stature in Florida that's related to me.
Okay.
Man,
oh, wait. Ain't that the Gov?
Uh-huh.
Ron DeSantis? That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
I knew I liked you for some reason.
Oh, man. Well, I'll tell you what, there's a lot more to go into other than that here, folks. Again, like I said, we got the clash to talk about. Actually, there was something else.
Formula One stuff to talk about,
yeah, too. There's a little bit of Formula One that's getting ready to fire up here very soon. And in fact, actually, that being one, Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah,
I've heard he's switched teams, but we're gonna
Ferrari, baby.
Yeah,
that's what I heard too.
Yep. There's been a bit of a team switch, and then a little bit of other stuff too that we can just kind of touch on and unpack here a little bit more as we get more into the show this week. But with that said, here again, like we said, folks, with F1 news, Clash news, all sorts of other news in general. Super Bowl coming up this weekend, Mardi Gras next week, Daytona 500 in 2 weeks' time. Man,
already.
I know, right, Andy? I think I need to like put a little graphic like right down here somewhere. Like right down here once our new graphics are situated. That literally.
Where are you pointing, brother?
Where the nameplates are.
If you guys listening out there in Radio Land, he's pointing down to his nether regions here. I don't know what he's
pointing where the nameplates are below the camera.
Oh, the ones the folks on the radio can't see.
Exactly.
All right.
Lordy.
I swear, Andy, I know I'm tired this week, but never mind. I won't go into saying what I'm thinking because that will get me in trouble with the FCC. But with that said here, folks, we're going to step aside. We're going to take that first foreign fuel of the show. And when we come back, we're going to have some news of the week for you. Like I said, we got a whole bunch to talk about this week.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver. And we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
What can we learn from a child?
That spreading joy
is more important than a trophy.
That when we help others,
we heal ourselves.
That with a little love,
we can make the biggest impact.
At Speedway Children's Charities,
our mission
is simple.
Help every child we can.
Because all children deserve joy.
And hope.
And love.
And if one child is still in need,
then there's still work to do.
Because their future
is our future.
And there's still so much they can teach us.
Burning Rubber is social. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Burning Rubber Radio. Now back to more Burning Rubber.
And we are back on Burning Rubber Radio. It's producer Wayne, along with NASCAR chef John Dix and Andy DeLay. And
hey,
gents, news of the week time here. But I'll tell you what, we're gonna make this one we're going to make this version of News of the Week kind of more the soapbox segment for this week here. And
oh, gosh, who's climbing on the soapbox?
Well, you know what? John actually climbed on the soapbox this past weekend with the clash at the Coliseum at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum in Los Angeles, California. Yay. And, John, the thing I wanted to talk about when it comes to what was said about the LA Coliseum, because the one part of your post that I'm not gonna lie, it kind of disturbed me a little bit because you were talking about the fan count and everything like that, and but now granted, NASCAR kind of flip-flopped the script a little bit for this past weekend at the Clash at the Coliseum because, one, severe weather was expected to come in on Sunday when the main event was supposed to have been held. So they literally rushed. Now, yes, I will say they had to rush their asses off. They had to rush like crazy to get the show put on Saturday, virtually pretty much almost foregoing all of the heats, all of everything, even though they got everything in. But they had to shorten everything up to make sure that they could get everything in a timely manner to not have to worry about a potentially rain-shortened event on Sunday. And in the process, prior to that, NASCAR had originally announced that the qualifying and the heats and everything that was originally planned for just Saturday alone would allow fans to come in and watch everything for free, and no ticket required, yada yada yada. You could come in and just watch everything and have fun, and then of course you would have to buy your ticket for the Clash on Sunday. Now Saturday, since they had to move everything up, not a lot of people were able to redirect their plans as quickly as NASCAR was, hence the extremely low fan turnout. So at that point in time, that's where I have to say, okay, hey, I give NASCAR props because of the fact being that they literally hustled to get this event in lieu of severe weather that was on the way. But in the same right, it could have been a little bit more well promoted, which I do get from your side of things. But at that point, I open up the floor to you to kind of unpack that a little more.
Well, Wayne, I tell you, I took all that in consideration. Way back in the day when there wasn't all this social media, I went to several races at Talladega and at Atlanta on Monday when they were when they were rained out over the weekend. And everybody got on their cell phones, and before the end of the race was over with, the grandstands was full. Okay? And that's back before they had social media. Now, I think, what is the capacity of the Coliseum? About 80,000?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be about right.
Okay, it's right in the heart of L.A. I lived in that area for about 3 years, okay?
I'm sorry, John.
I'm sorry for you, too.
That's why I live in Alabama now. But anyways, there are 3.8 million people just in Los Angeles. And they couldn't get 50,000 to make it look like it was half full? Come on.
Well, but in the same right, though, one other thing to keep in mind, too, is that with this being the digital age, if NASCAR overlooked something for case in point. Now I'm not gonna lay blame to NASCAR, and I'm not gonna lay blame to the fans, because this was something that obviously there's a lot of what ifs in that situation. What if NASCAR promoted it all over social media like they did, that they were rush moving it to Saturday evening instead of such on and so forth, which I think, honestly, after qualifying and heats and whatnot, it was determined that this weather was moving in at that specific time. And now, granted, yes, NASCAR could have done better and, reviewed the weather forecast a little bit more in advance, rather than waiting up until about 6 or 7 o'clock at night, and they're like, all of a sudden they're like, oh crap, that looks like that's going to be a nasty storm coming in. Let's go ahead and race now.
Well, Wayne, as well as I do, they had to get approval from the executives on the TVs, okay, because that's where all their money is.
Right.
So that's why I believe they waited so late. But again, getting back to my point, back in the day before they had social media, we would go to Talladega or Atlanta on the days that it was rained out on Monday, and people would get on their cell phones, and the place would be packed by the end of the day because it was free, and
that's right.
And it just, I look at it this way, if there was a big fan base in California, they wouldn't be changing the Fontana track.
That's exactly right. And I've got to tell you what, the whole LA Coliseum thing is, get ready with those air wrenches there, Wayne. You ready?
Yep.
It's a shit show. Yep. That's exactly what the thing has always been, and it is now.
No,
and the fact that
we will agree.
The fact that NASCAR, in all of their wisdom, decides, well, we're going to run this a day early. The folks that paid to see it on Sunday, what if they were flying in? What about folks that were driving in? What about folks that spent a lot of money on hotels? What about all of that? You know what they're going to tell NASCAR next time? If you're watching on Wingding, that's exactly the old Kentucky Howdy is what I gave them. They're going to tell NASCAR to shove it straight up their ass.
Right.
So John's right. If something got rained out on Sunday, they race it on Monday. If Monday got rained out, guess what? They raced it on Tuesday. And if you can't do that with these exhibition races that people are paying good money to go see, don't hold the damn thing.
Yeah. Well, we raced on Tuesday one time at Atlanta several years ago.
Oh yeah,
I remember sitting around the track for 2 or 3 days when I was with Stuart Hodge.
Oh yeah, no, and I can attest to how many races I've seen on a Tuesday. Watching it on TV. And John, yes, you actually brought up a valid point too, and we'll touch on that for a second. Is that they had to wait on approval from the TV execs at that point in time, and I'm now, this is one thing I'm going to say right now from being in this industry for as long as I've been in it here. One thing NASCAR should have done, and they did not do, is they should have already, regardless of the weather, they need to have a provision in the contract that clearly states in the event of imminent severe weather or up to a 24-hour window of said weather event that a broadcast can move forward immediately.
Yeah, well, I tell you, Wayne, I had been watching the weather since Thursday, and I had already predicted it would happen, so they had plenty of time to do it.
Dude, I was watching it just as much as you were, because I seen that there was a storm coming up from Atlanta, and in the process, they just happened to show the national forecast, including California, and California's at the point right now they're about to be under 2 feet of water.
Yep. They're having flood right there, right now out there, yeah.
So at that point, and that's just since late Saturday night, actually. So at that point, like I said, there's things that NASCAR did right, but there's also a lot more that they did wrong by pushing the race up like they did. So it did screw a lot of ticket holders out of their ability to watch the event. It screwed a lot of hotels out of money for folks staying there for the event. There's a whole lot of things there. And one of the comments that was on your Facebook page, and I'm just going to say this too, is kind of like a final comment to wrap this up here. This is the one time, as much as I respect Ben Kennedy, because we've had him on the show before, back years and years and years ago when he was a Truck Series driver. I respect the hell out of Ben Kennedy, but this is one airheaded move bringing this race to the LA Coliseum, and in turn, it should have always stayed either at Daytona like it had been for God knows 50, 60 years. Even if now I'm going to throw in a huge even if instead of using the full 2.5 mile circuit, if you wanted to have something a little bit more exhibition style, you could easily take the infield right there at pit road, almost like do what the Legends cars do. Create your 8th mile track using the Legends cars track. And then,
there you go. Wouldn't that be something, seeing a bunch of Cup cars running on a flat Legends track?
That would be funny as hell.
Guys, what about this thought? Why can't we go every year to a different short track around the country?
See, there you go. That too.
That needs the money.
That too.
That's something that is a very good idea, John. What's that one? In South Carolina, there's that one place where the modified guys run.
You're talking about Bowman Gray? That's in Winston-Salem.
Bowman Gray, that's what I'm saying. Bowman Gray.
That's not in South Carolina. That's in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Okay, wherever. But anyway, I'm just saying, could you imagine holding it there?
Oh,
man, that would be awesome.
Yeah. That would be beyond awesome, because that's literally a Saturday night arena for all the good fights.
I was going to say, you can watch the race, you can watch the fist fights, you can watch all of this. That'd be great.
Mm-hmm. And they might have a fan or two there.
There you go.
Maybe, one or two.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, man. But, there's so much more that we could unpack with all of that. And, folks, we're going to actually take that over to our social media. So it's facebook.com/Burning Rubber Radio. Go over on our Facebook page. And we're going to put the topic up during the week here, and we're going to get everybody's insight on it if we haven't already done so. And then at that point in time, we'll come back next week. We'll talk a little bit more about it and see what our listeners think when it comes to all of that, as far as how the Busch Clash was handled this past weekend at the LA Memorial Coliseum. But on that note,
yes. And there's also one other thing, folks. If you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble, please like us, subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell us whether you like us, hate us, if you whatever. Just tell us.
Just don't leave the spam porn links, guys, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I get tired of moderating those. I've seen I've seen a bunch of those popping up here lately, folks. If you don't have anything better to do than spam somebody's pages, go away. Do us all a favor, just go away. But with that said here, we're going to step aside. We're going to take our next foreign fuel. And when we come back here, Andy, it's that time where we get in with our guest of the week. We're going to be talking with, I still almost wonder if he's a distant cousin or not, Paul Owens, when we come back.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver. and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
What can we learn from a child?
That spreading joy
is more important than a trophy.
that when we help others,
We heal ourselves.
That with a little love,
We can make the biggest impact.
At Speedway Children's Charities,
our mission
is simple.
help every child we can.
because all children deserve joy.
And hope.
And love.
And if one child is still in need,
Then there's still work to do.
because their future
Is our future.
and there's still so much they can teach us.
Visit us online at burningrubberradio.com for recipes from the NASCAR chef, John Dix, and more great content.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, that dang old internet, man, you just go on there and point and click, 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 click. It's real easy, man.
Now back to more Burning Rubber Radio.
And we are back on Burning Rubber Radio. It's producer Wayne along with the NASCAR chef John Dix and Andy DeLay. And Andy, for a second there, it looked like I saw you snoozing, brother.
I ain't snoozing over here. I'm wide awake, baby. We're talking racing.
Yeah, we're talking motorsports, baby. And but with that said here, folks, we've got to get on to our featured guest of the week here this week. And I have a feeling now I'm going to say this out loud because he's on the phone with us right now. I got a weird feeling, the fact that we share last names, I almost have to wonder if he's a distant cousin that I don't know about. And
Poor guy. Why are you wishing that on him?
You know what? Here's to you. But folks listening on the radio, I just gave Andy a nice old Kentucky howdy. But no, the reason I say that is because, you know, obviously we talked about it in past years ago where, you know, I found out through the family tree I was randomly related to Ron DeSantis. So, I mean, there is that. But with that said, our guest of the week this week from the Arca Menards series, it's Paul Owens. And again, that's where I wonder if he's a distant cousin of mine. So, you know, just for the kicks of it, what's up, cuz?
Not much. How are you?
Not too bad, brother. Not too bad. Doing all right. So, things going on in the world here as far as motorsports are concerned here. We've understood that you are going to be with Rhett Jones Racing through 2024. But some recent changes that have come about, instead of going out for the full Arca Menards East series, we're going to try and run more of the national stuff, huh?
Well, not just the national. I'm just looking across the entire ARCA platform from ARCA National East and West Series and selecting races that I think will be best for me to get notoriety and kind of see how that goes.
All right. Well, so out of all of the ones that are set to go on so far between East, Midwest, and West Series, what ones are looking good to you so far?
Right. Right now, it all kind of depends on sponsors and what goes there, which, as we know, that's something that is very hard to do in motorsports, is line up sponsors correctly and get all that timing down. But that's Bristol, Dover, and Nashville are three tracks I would absolutely love to run, and I think I would do great at them.
All three sound like absolutely amazing events to go to. I mean, they are from the NASCAR side of things, so Arca Menards, you know, definitely no stranger to good times at Bristol and Dover.
Yeah.
Am I right, Andy?
Yeah, that's the truth. You know, Arca Menards series is actually owned by NASCAR now, if you didn't know, Wayne. But anyway.
I did. I did.
Yeah, okay, good. My question here for Paul, what are you doing now? What kind of racing are you doing before coming up here and taking a step into ARCA?
Right. So I started racing in quarter midgets when I was 5, which was very young, but I begged and pleaded with my parents to let me, and they made me memorize all kinds of things, and I did. And so I got to racing them, and then when I turned 12, I hopped in a legend car, and I promised my mom I wouldn't race one until I was 13. And I tested once and ended up racing 2 months later at the age of like 12 and a half or something, which scared her a little bit, but I absolutely loved it. And then ran in legend cars for about a year and a half or so, and then made the jump to late models. Spent my first year running a 5-race schedule at Hickory and sat on a pole, got a bunch of second and thirds, and kept finishing races up front. And decided to come back again and run another late model series for 2022. That would have been, but sadly that got cut short, and I was only able to run 3 races due to some personal reasons there. But yeah, so that kind of all happened, and then I was left without anything for 2023, and kind of sat out almost all of last year. And Rhett Jones Racing kind of took me on and helped me become like a development driver for him, and we got to talking, and I'm ready to go racing for him this year in 2024.
That is wonderful. Rhett Jones, of course, isn't a slouch. That is an ARCA powerhouse. So you're in the right equipment. There's no doubt over there at Rhett Jones. Now, question is, how have you kept yourself, in shape as far as racecraft? Have you been doing a lot of iRacing, stuff like that?
Yeah, I do quite a lot of iRacing and sim work on iRacing to keep myself sharp. It's not the easiest. I was only able to run 1 race last year in Florence, South Carolina 400 out there, which was a blast. But just iRacing like crazy, and I go to work every day, come home, work out, get my schoolwork done, and get on the simulator and do everything I can.
Wait a sec. You said schoolwork. Folks are like, wait a second. How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 17.
All right. So you're getting in there. This is great. You're starting off at 17 years old in the ARCA Menard series, whether it's 1 race or the whole series, it doesn't matter. You're going to run 1 more ARCA Menards race than I have at 58 years old. So good for you, man. This is good stuff.
Well,
now,
I wouldn't want you behind my ARCA car anyway, whether Rhett Jones or not, just because of reasons. And Paul,
let's not go back all to that. Anyway,
it'd be fun too, but yeah. Okay.
What I'm getting at is, what's your dreams, man? Is it NASCAR? Is it open wheel? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I just want to drive race cars is what I want to do. I tell people that. They look at me like I'm crazy. They're like, you don't want to be a Cup champion or IndyCar champion or IMSA champion? I say, I just want to drive race cars. Just growing up, Matt Crafton, Elliott Sadler, now Justin Allgaier, those kind of guys that are running trucks in the community, and they get to race every week, every year. I would just love to do that. I just want to get behind the wheel of a race car.
That's true. And we have talked to Matt Crafton about that before. He loves just running in the truck series, makes a living doing it. So Justin Allgaier, like you said, runs in the Xfinity series. That's what he does, and that's where he wants to stay. So good for you, because in order to be a champion in any of the series that you want to run in, you first got to want to drive race cars. I'm sorry, John, you had to say something?
That's okay. Yeah, Paul, this is John. Are you going to be down here in Mobile or Five Flags this year, do you think?
Five Flags right now for the ARCA Menards E-Series first race. Most likely not. But later in the year when the Snowball Derby's down there, I would love to come down and watch that race and hang out down there with everybody. And maybe if I'm lucky, I can get a car somewhere around there and go race that.
Sounds like a good time.
Well, that's my neck of the woods is why I was asking. So.
Okay. Yep. I was down there in December. I absolutely loved it.
Okay.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a great time. Well, with that all said here, Paul, we gotta ask, because we know it's around that time here where we get ready to wrap up with folks for the week here. Who make things happen for you? What sponsors do you have currently? And social media, and pretty much just plug away everything you got, buddy.
Right. All social media platforms, you can find me at Paul Owens Racing. Right now for sponsorships, I currently don't have anyone on board for the season as of right now, but kind of just searching around right now, finding what I can, and if anyone wants to come on board and help out, they'll be more than welcome. I have multiple options you can pick from for sponsorship plans, and I'd love to have you on board.
Super.
Where do they get a hold of you if they want to jump on board again?
Right. Paul Owens Racing on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and I also have a LinkedIn profile. Feel free to DM me, direct message that is, at any of those platforms, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Or you can email me at paulowensracing@gmail.com.
All right, super stuff. Well, folks, definitely go help this young man out. 17 years old. Honestly, it sounds like, Paul, you have a bright future ahead of you in racing. The fact that, you want to get out there and have fun and actually be in the race car and not worry about championships or any other thing or any specific, high-end goals, that's a racer's racer, in my opinion. And I love hearing stuff like that. And we wish you all of the best for everything you got coming up in 2024. But one other thing we want to get you in on here.
Oh, yeah, by the way.
Yeah, by the way. So there is a tradition that is associated with this show. Kenny Wallace started it back in 2008. He grabbed the mic out of Andy's hand over here and shouted, "Burning rubber, baby," at the top of his lungs. Those three famous words, "Burning rubber, baby." And the cool part to those three words is, and this is, there's guarantees behind this.
Yes, this
proof,
works.
There's proof in the pudding here, is that you can either get up to 2/10 on the racetrack, a guaranteed race win, or a chance at a guaranteed championship. So with those three famous words, buddy, shout them at the top of your lungs. Let's hear it.
Loud and proud.
Sounds like I'm burning rubber, baby.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
he's gonna be a champion, even though he just wants to drive a race car. Loud and proud, baby.
Loud and proud, baby. Well, with that said here, folks, we're going to step aside. We're going to take our next four in fuel. And when we come back, Andy, I smell something good cooking.
Dude, did you just blow your ass again?
Negative, sir. The NASCAR chef John Dix is in the house.
Yes,
when we come back, oh my Lord Jesus.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. And in our family, we're used to getting involved, and I encourage you to do the same, especially when it comes to caring for your loved ones. When I think about Alzheimer's and the impact it had on my family, I recognize that losing a race isn't such a bad day after all. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough, but if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
What can we learn from a child?
That spreading joy
is more important than a trophy.
that when we help others,
We heal ourselves.
That with a little love,
We can make the biggest impact.
At Speedway Children's Charities,
our mission
is simple.
help every child we can.
because all children deserve joy.
And hope.
And love.
And if one child is still in need,
Then there's still work to do.
because their future
Is our future.
and there's still so much they can teach us.
The grill is fired up, and the chef has something good cooking. It's the NASCAR chef, John Dix, and more Burning Rubber.
And we are back. More Burning Rubber, baby. It's producer Wayne, along with the NASCAR chef John Dix and Andy DeLay. And, well, you know what? Instead of NASCAR chef John Dix, I'm just going to, I'm serious. I'm just going to call him Frank.
Right. Oh, okay.
You're cooking, Frankie.
I've been called worse.
Well, hey, as long as you're not called late for dinner, right?
I hear you, brother. If I'm late, we're all in trouble.
I was going to say.
Are in trouble.
I was going to say, yeah, if you're late for dinner, we are definitely in in a world of hurt. But with that said here, it is that time, folks, where we get to the recipe of the week and the NASCAR chef John Dix. And for the upcoming Super Bowl Sunday, John, you've got one so scrumptious recipe this week, my friend.
Yeah, I tell you, Wayne, like I promised with the 500 coming up and the Super Bowl coming up, we're going to do a few hors d'oeuvres or appetizers, whatever you want to call them. So this week, we're going to do a garlic bread pizza. Very simple, very easy, very tasty, not very waste-friendly, but who cares? Anyways, we're going to start with 8 slices of Texas toast garlic bread.
Okay.
1 cup of pizza sauce. 1.5 cups of shredded mozzarella cheese, and about 25 to 30 pepperoni slices, maybe about 35, because you know you're going to nibble on a couple of them as you're making this.
I'm already hungry before you're starting to cook this thing. So let's get to it.
Okay, gang, we're going to preheat the oven to 425. Place the garlic bread on a baking sheet. Spread equal amounts of sauce on the bread, and then top it with the cheese and the pepperoni. Now, guys, you're going to cook it in the oven for about 8 or 10 minutes until the cheese is melted, and enjoy it. And it's that simple. But, you know, you can also, if you don't want to do pepperoni, you can add vegetables on it, anything you want. You know, we can even go to JR Shrimp and get some shrimp and put it on there, and that'll be good.
I don't know about shrimp pizza. That sounds like an idea like the possum pizza that Andy used to have back in the day.
Man, I heard there's some guy called the Shrimp Pimp. We need to talk to him. JR's the Shrimp Pimp. Man.
Yeah, we're working on getting JR on the show, but Andy, you totally missed the whole joke there again, brother.
I guess I did. I was thinking about shrimp.
Yeah, I said the idea of shrimp on pizza is like your idea of that possum pizza way back in the day.
Ho ho ho.
Folks, if you're new to the show and you haven't ever heard of us before, you know, this week or getting back all the way 15 years ago, Andy had a bad habit when he lived in Kentucky of running over possum and making pizza with it.
Road pizza, unfortunately.
Yeah, literal roadkill. There's a sound effect that goes with it. I don't have that one. It would be Andy. You remember that movie, The Mask?
Yeah.
So there's a specific line in there that fit perfectly. There'd be like, "Hi, Ma, I'm Roadkill."
That worked.
Well, you know, guys. Speaking of JR or Shrimp Pimp, last night I had some shrimp and on the grill, and we cooked steak. So we had surf and turf, and I tell you what, man, y'all hook up with us, and we'll hook you up with JR, the Shrimp Boy, and the Shrimp Cowboy, or as we call him, the Shrimp Pimp.
Right.
And we'll hook you up with some good stuff.
Now, how do folks get a hold of you, John, if they want to send you a recipe to use on the show?
Well, Andy, I appreciate you asking, but they can get a hold of me at racingtothegrill@gmail.com. That's RACING, the number 2, thegrill@gmail.com.
Very cool stuff. RACING, the number 2, thegrill@gmail.com is the
and
email.
Folks, if folks want to see the NASCAR chef's recipe instead of writing it down, if they're listening to us like on WTHU and some of our other outlets, Radio St. Pete and the Florida Sports Channel, hey, listen, just go over to our YouTube or our Rumble page or wingding.tv, and it's posted right there, and you can write it down. And don't forget to subscribe, please, if you go there.
And for folks watching it on the TV side of things, the recipe is on screen for you right now. And in very large text this week, because John didn't break the bank on text this week. So
we got a whole new thing coming for John.
Yeah, we've got not just a whole new thing for John. We've got a whole new thing for the show. And I was talking with our awesome friends over at Get Wrecked Labs earlier today, or actually, earlier on Monday, prior to taping the show for the week, and they have confirmed that we will have our Season 5 graphics ready by next week.
All right. Daytona 500 will be looking spiffy.
Oh, yes, sir. Prim and proper.
There we go.
Oh, man. 'Cause, you know what's funny is, speaking of prim and proper, you know, I go back to when I had to wear that suit and tie at the NASCAR Awards a couple of years ago. I'm not going to lie. That is the most uncomfortable I have ever felt, being in a suit and tie. I
know, man. You look like a pimple about to pop, man, with all that stuff around your neck.
Hey, if you noticed, I've lost some of the stuff around the neck lately. Thank you. I've actually gotten. I am going to kick the ever-living hell out of him, folks, for those listening on the radio. If you go back and watch us on wingding.tv, you'll probably notice from week over week in the last 2 weeks, I have lost a little bit of weight, and it's honestly, again, we were talking about him a couple of weeks ago.
Wayne, my feet are all freezing. Hell must have froze over. My feet are cold.
Again, folks, I'm gonna smack him around real good here in just here when we get off the air. But no, it's thanks to a new partnership that I've had with the folks at Core Nutritionals and the Crush It Coliseum. They were good enough to get us hooked me up rather with some of their 30-day vitamin packs, as well as a collagen supplement and a few other health products. And I can dare say it's been the best thing ever. I've been on it now for almost 2 weeks.
What's it called?
Core Nutritionals.
Core Nutritionals. I'm gonna have to go check this out.
Yep, Core Nutritionals, and they've got collagen supplements. They've got thermogenic fat burners, which I'm not on just yet because we haven't gotten to that point in the program that I'm working on. But they've got meal replacement shakes that you can get in multiple flavors, which I'm not gonna lie, I've tried a few meal replacements in the past, absolute garbage. But this stuff here that Core Nutritional sells, fantastic. The one I get tastes like vanilla pound cake. There's no chalky aftertaste, none of that other stuff. And then the vitamin pack literally is just this giant box. I mean, it's like $80, but you know what? It comes with a 30-day supply of vitamins, and all you do is you pull them out, rip the top off, pour them in your hand, and there you go. That's all there is to it.
You're good for.
Wow.
But no, again, phenomenal stuff over at the folks at Core Nutritionals. And folks, if you ever want to get some information on it, definitely feel free to reach out to us on Facebook over at facebook.com/Burning Rubber Radio, Instagram.com/Burning Rubber Radio, or Twitter.com/BRR_radio. Shoot us a message and say you want to tell us you want to get more information about Core Nutritionals, and I will be more than happy to get you guys in contact with the folks out of the corporate office that's here in Statesville, North Carolina, and we will get you set up the right way. But on that note, though, we do need to step aside, take one final foreign fuel of the show this week here, but take one last good look at the recipe on screen here: garlic bread pizza from the NASCAR chef John Dix. And when we come back here, boys, we've got news of the week to talk about, including the fact that NASCAR has announced a regional series. We're going to talk more about it when we come back.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Touchdown! Oh, did you see that? Whoa, we scored? Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Wait, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine. Kevin, I need that back. No. Kevin!
What can we learn from a child?
That spreading joy
is more important than a trophy.
That when we help others,
we heal ourselves.
That with a little love,
we can make the biggest impact.
At Speedway Children's Charities,
our mission
is simple.
Help every child we can.
Because all children deserve joy.
And hope.
And love.
And if one child is still in need,
then there's still work to do.
Because their future
is our future.
And there's still so much they can teach us.
Burning Rubber is social. Follow us on Instagram at Instagram.com/Burning Rubber Radio. Now back to more Burning Rubber.
And we are back on Burning Rubber Radio. It's producer Wayne, Andy DeLay, and the NASCAR chef John Dix. And boys, final segment of the show is already upon us here. Already just about to an end of another hour of motorsports.
The
talk here.
fastest 60 minutes in motorsports.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yep.
sir. Yes, sir. The fastest 60 minutes in motorsports talk radio. But with that said, we got to get into some news of the week here. And Andy, I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of news that we didn't get a chance to touch on since we went on the soapbox in the first part of the show here. A couple of things that we want to touch on here real quick, and that being that Lewis Hamilton, Formula One fame, has now made the decision and signed the contract and done all the to-dos and to-das with it. He is no longer a member of Red Bull. He is going to be going to
No. He is going. Yeah.
Or yeah, he's going to be going to Red Bull and Ferrari for 2024. He's no longer a part of Mercedes.
That's crazy. He used to be so dominant at Mercedes. Nobody could touch him.
Yep.
And this is kind of like, back in the day, Jeff Gordon going to Ford or something. This is crazy.
Yeah.
It's definitely a big thing because he's going to, he's going to be teammates now with, the likes of Charles Leclerc. And so that's going to open up a whole can of worms that we're going to have to see what happens with the 2024 Formula One season when they get kicked off here in a couple of weeks' time. Should be a good time. Actually, I think one of the first races this year is the St. Pete GP down in St. Petersburg, Florida. Or no, that's IndyCar. Never mind. That's IndyCar. What am I thinking of?
I was like, yeah, this is something I didn't hear about, man. Yeah, March is when we're going to be doing the St. Pete Grand Prix for IndyCar kicking off.
Yeah. Folks that love the wine and cheese, do me a favor, hold the pitchforks. It was an honest mistake on my part. But moving on, though, real quickly here over to some other final news of the week here, and that being that NASCAR has officially announced the launch of the NASCAR regional brand and platform, which will encompass the touring and weekly series of NASCAR, including the ARCA Menard Series, ARCA Menard Series East, ARCA Menard Series West, NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, and the Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series. So now it is just going to be dubbed as NASCAR Regional, which debuted on Saturday during the season opener Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum. And I'm sorry, that is not the season opener. That is an exhibition race. The season opener comes up in 2 weeks' time at the Daytona 500.
Yep.
By far, this is ridiculous.
Right. Yeah, but
I tell you what they need to do with ARCA. They need to make it. Well, they need to make ARCA less confusing. The ARCA East, the ARCA West, ARCA Regional, ARCA this. Just make it the ARCA series, and
just make it the full out ARCA Menard series, and then at that point in time, combine all of your drivers, East, Midwest, and West, like you do with Cup, Xfinity, and Truck. Just combine them into one giant series. That way your fields are a lot larger, and you don't show up to Daytona with 10 cars.
Exactly right. And that's what's the problem's been with ARCA. But anyway, go on. One.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, guys, I'll call Joe Wells and tell him we got it fixed up for him.
Yeah. You go ahead. Let Joe Wells and Joe Wells will say, "No problem, John."
Yeah.
Be like, "You're hired, executive president." Executive president of debauchery. But either which way. Formerly, though, as NASCAR roots, the NASCAR regional brand and platform will, as NASCAR puts it, better position the sport to grow awareness around those series. And in addition, the rebrand ushers in a more organized and recognizable platform, quote unquote, that provides concise sightlines of a, again, quote unquote, ladder system from beginning to end. Honestly, all that does, just by listening to it, is give me a headache.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's lawyer-esque sounding.
Yeah, very, very lawyer-esque. But, needless to say, my head, like I said, my head hurts just thinking about that. But on to some other final news here real quick before everybody starts being like, "Get off the microphones!" And because I know that's coming. The pitchforks, I see them lighting up in the background. Speaking of the Clash at the Coliseum, one thing we didn't touch on earlier is that Daniel Suarez won in the return of the NASCAR Mexico Series this past weekend at Los Angeles. So props to Daniel Suarez. That's a hell of a good start for 2024 leading into everything coming up at all of the short tracks around the NASCAR Touring Series here. And we didn't talk about this one either, and that being one Denny Hamlin, oh joy, wins the Busch Light Clash. Of course, obviously rain shortened. I have a feeling that just played in his favor because nobody else had time to prepare on how to knock his ass out.
Well, hell, Kyle Busch had a chance there at the end, but he didn't.
Yeah, I thought Kyle was going to do that.
I was wishing he would because.
Oh yeah, well that was like who was it? Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs got knocked around by Kyle Larson a little bit, and all you hear is wah wah wah.
Oh my gosh, I am not a Ty Gibbs fan. The kid.
Neither am I. Neither am I. But that's besides the point here. Moving on over into the world. Speaking of IndyCar and everything like that, here Ryan Hunter-Reay and I almost said Carson Daly. It's Connor Daly, rather. Excuse me. There we go. And Connor Daly, they have made the official announcement that they will be partnering and joining Dreyer and Reinbold Racing for the full IndyCar Series season this year. So some good stuff to see the folks at Dreyer and Reinbold picking up two absolute stars.
We also have Rhett Jones news too. Some more cool stuff from Rhett Jones. John Bonsignore.
Oh yeah, John Bonsignore is going to be running in the full ARCA Series season for 2024. So that's going to be something to keep your eye out on as well. John Bonsignore is well known from the Touring Series. So moving up into the world of ARCA, I think he's going to do quite well. We'll just have to wait and see what happens there. And
as long as he's in Rhett Jones, he'll do good.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
Oh yeah,
a powerhouse, baby.
Oh yeah. And then one last bit of news here before we make our picks for the Daytona, or excuse me, no, we were going to do Super Bowl picks this week. That's right.
Yeah, I was going to say, what?
Yeah. Not Daytona 500, Super Bowl 58 picks for this week coming up here. Last bit of news here for the week is that Tony Breidinger has been confirmed to run the full 2024 season and various different things, as we talked about a couple of weeks ago. But she's also made an official announcement that she'll be running the Truck Series opener coming up at Daytona.
She will be. Good for her.
Yeah, good for her. That's cool.
Some really good stuff all the way around here in the world of motorsports for this weekend coming up here. Again, folks, now racing season is in full swing. We've had the 20. Wow, if I don't burp up my Girl Scout cookies, I'll be all right.
Oh boy!
Trust me,
you're on a diet, Wayne.
Yeah,
nice diet, bub.
Hey, trust me, I can be on a diet and still have my Girl Scout cookies. That's one addiction I can't get rid of.
Yes, support your Girl Scouts, guys.
Yes, exactly. Support the Girl Scouts. Even, I mean, they get out there and they work hard, and they're just, they're trying to do the right thing and make a little money for the cause. So, definitely get out there and support the Girl Scouts. But again, racing season is in full swing now. We've had the 24 hours at Daytona. We've had the Clash of the Coliseum. We've got Super Bowl Sunday coming up this week. We've got Mardi Gras coming up this week, this coming week as well. Then we've got the Daytona 500, baby. We are back in full motion when it comes to motorsports. But again, we'd be remiss if we didn't make Super Bowl picks for this weekend coming up.
That's right.
And it's a repeat of 4 years ago. So personally, I'm just gonna say we'll spend just a couple of seconds on it here. San Francisco 49ers versus Kansas City Chiefs. Andrew DeLay, who you picking?
Mahomie, baby. He's going to take it all the way. And we're going to have to watch and see Taylor Swift, I know, but still, with Kelsey, Mahomie, make it another one, baby. Put another ring on your finger.
All right, NASCAR chef John Dix.
I got to agree with Andy, unfortunately, but it is what it is, and hope just as long as it's a good game. So,
well, you know what? I'm going to be the one that goes totally different here. I'm going to say it's going to be Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers that get it done this time around.
Okay.
We'll see.
So I gotta trust me. After Taylor Swift left country music, I became anti-Swifty. So just saying. And in turn, that means any team that she supports, aka Kelsey and the Chiefs.
Hey man,
I don't get me wrong.
I don't like watching the programming in NFL and having to see Taylor Swift in the box every week. I know I could care less.
Right.
But
don't get me wrong. I do like the Kansas City Chiefs. They are a great football team.
They are.
But when Taylor Swift is involved with the team, pretty much with her new man, Travis Kelce, I gotta be anti-KC for the Super Bowl this year and say that we're gonna see San Francisco do it. Personally, I would have rather have seen Detroit do it, but as we all saw a few weeks ago, Detroit choked.
Yeah, I would have liked to see the Ravens in there.
That would have been a good one too.
The Bucks, baby.
The heck with the Bucks.
Baker Mayfield's a hack, and I don't care if anyone likes that or not.
Trust me, I would. Now, knowing how much my home team and the Carolina Panthers sucked it up this year, I would much rather see my sucky Carolina Panthers instead of the Tampa Bay Bucks anytime because of Baker Mayfield.
I'm not a big Baker fan. He's either hot or cold, and
90% of the time he's ice cold. So
ice cold, but anyway,
that's just the way that goes. But with that said, here, folks, it has been another amazing episode of Burning Rubber Radio, all over social media, or all over Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Rumble, Wingding.tv, Performance Motorsports Network, WTHU in Thurmont, Maryland, Radio St. Pete, Florida Sports Stream, Sunshine 96.7 FM, wherever you can find us at, folks. Or if you want to get a hold of us and become an affiliate yourself for your radio station, send us an email or not send us an email, but rather visit our website at burningrubberradio.com, and we're working on getting our brand new affiliate section put up where you can submit a contact form and we will reach out to you. And who knows, maybe get your station involved with Burning Rubber Radio. But on that note here, for everybody involved in the show, for the NASCAR chef John Dix, Andy DeLay, Jeremy Taylor, Taylor Burris, Zachary Murtis, I am producer Wayne. We love you guys, and until next week, Burning Rubber, baby!
Burning Rubber, baby!
Burning Rubber, baby!
Burning Rubber Radio is a production of White Lightning Entertainment with studios in Statesville, North Carolina, and was brought to you by Drive Refine. It's more than driver coaching, it's Drive Refine. Visit driverefine.com to get signed up today. This week's show was produced by Wayne Owens. Remember to visit burningrubberradio.com for news, recipes, and more great content. Burning Rubber Radio can be seen on Rumble, YouTube, or wingding.tv and heard on radio stations nationwide. Any use of the accounts or descriptions contained in this broadcast must be the express written permission of White Lightning Entertainment.